Great people, wonderful people, is an opportunity and of course a great privilege to welcome you once again on yet another episode of Random. Random is back again for the first time. For the first time, yes, it's the first of its kind, because we had our 13th episode, which was the end of a quarter like 2 weeks ago. But then, for the first time ever, we are having a lady, we are having a woman, we are having the female species on Random. And it has just been destined that this particular female species will be the first woman on Random. Ask me how. I will tell you the background story, but that will be after meeting my guest for today. My guest today is an industrious person. She is a football fan. She is an entrepreneur. She is an interesting personality, and she's a woman of many parts. Her name is Odugbesan Aisha Abiola, aka Fluffy, the CEO of Fluffy
Bakes.
For Fluffy Bakes. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege and an honor to be here for the first time.
Yeah. To be here again. You understand now. I told you that she has been destined to be the first, because I think the very first 3 episodes of Random we recorded featured her. She featured in the first 3 episodes that we recorded. But then unfortunately something happened to the file and we could not get it out. And then something happened. And then we had first episode, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, till the 13th episode. And now she's back again. Welcome once again.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege.
Apologies that we have to bring you back again. It's not intentional.
It's nice.
We were just trying to find our feet that time. But then
I understand.
it's good to be back.
I understand.
So I'm glad that you are even back again.
Yes.
So I can touch on so many other things.
Yeah. It's cool.
What does it feel like to be a female business owner? Let's start from there.
Ooh. It's a thing of beauty for me. Probably maybe because I grew up in a household where business was like, I didn't really have a lot of people around me growing up who were career driven.
Okay.
Majority of the people that I knew were into business. In fact, I can say, like, from my mom's side, only my mom's younger sister, I think their last born, was the only person that had a career. Like every other person was into business. So business had always been the thing for me. So when I finished school, I had 2 options. Before I run out of my NYSC money, if I don't find work, I was going to go into business. It was just that. That was just what it was. And I think I would say I've been lucky to have found my thing quick and fast, and it wasn't a thing of I had to do a lot of things before I found what was for me. So I think I'll say I've been lucky, and I would also say that God has there's some things that you just can't describe.
Yeah.
There are some things you can't explain how it just came to fruition, but I just feel like I'm glad that I thought about it early. I went for it early, and I built the brand early, because thinking of building the brand this period right now at this moment, it would have been something else. I would have if I graduated right at this time. I think I would have loved to work. I would have loved to do a 9-to-5 rather than start up a business or whatnot. But it's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful thing to. Business has always been something that was always around me. So it was never a thing of maybe or should I. It was always an option. It was always an option.
Can you remember the very first business you had, or when you started?
When I was I just had that inkling when I was in uni. Myself and my sister, we lived together because my mom was always like, see, I don't know how you 12 of you, I don't know how you want to do it, but I'm only paying for 1 room. Now, you can decide to slash the funds and go and look for 2 different rooms but I'm just paying for 1, and this is the amount. So we had no choice but to we just had to stay together. That
You
was the
attended the
best.
same
Yeah,
school?
went to the same university. She was a year ahead of me, but she was a year ahead of me in secondary school. But because of, I think during their period, they had the schools she picked for something. They were not. I think she picked UI. UI was not admitting students at the time, so she had to wait an extra year. So we got into school together.
Which school was that?
Olabisi Onabanjo University.
Or you?
Yeah. So we got into school together. So we had to live together. We didn't have a choice. We had to live together. So I just knew that my sister had this industrious, she was into selling things and
Your sister too?
That one that one is a bunga businesswoman. So I would do some selling for her. She was into selling. I think she sold perfumes, body sprays and stuff like that.
Right from when you were undergraduate?
Yeah. So I would take some products and do some selling for her. But I really didn't enjoy it because I didn't like the situation of everyone knew I was a very aggressive seller. You have to buy.
Okay.
If you don't buy, you're in trouble. And at the time, I was the assistant class rep for my class. So I made it a situation where if you want to submit your assignment, you have to buy. So it was fun for me. I would sell for people. I had friends who also went into selling. Some that sold cloth, some that sold shoes, sandals, bags. So I would market and do all of this, but it was fun for me at the time. So yeah, I would say that was like the very first time I actually really did anything pertaining to like sales and things like that. Yeah, I loved it.
Fluffy, when do you start your home business? Or when? Let me not even start that way. Let's say when do you discover your love for baking?
Same university. Same university. I had a friend.
Were you going to class?
I was going to class, though.
But then you just realized that this is also very important.
I had a friend who I can't remember exactly what happened. I think it was my birthday, and I ordered a cake from some bakery in school then. And they brought the cake and I ate the cake and it was quite nice. It was quite nice. I had a feeling like, okay, this really tastes good and it's quite cool. So I went online. I went online and I Google searched how to bake a cake,
Oh.
and I saw the whole process and everything. And I made my first cake. I just went to the market. I just bought plenty of things. I bought pan, but I still have, I think, one of the pans that I used in school. Then I still have one of it with me at the store. So I bought a pan. Then things were quite cheap. So how much now? I bought butter, bought sugar, bought all of those things. And then I baked. And I just did it because I didn't have anything to do. I think it was during strike or something. I didn't go home. I was
just
around. I was just
having fun.
Just having fun. And then I gave a friend, she was my school mother at the time, I gave her the cake to eat. And she was like, cake, bamo, afa. Wait till they stop. I was like, I just, and then from there, she encouraged me actually. From there, we started testing a lot of different things. I didn't have an oven at the time. I was baking with my stove and pot and stone.
I remember you put stone, sand now.
Or some people use sand, but I didn't like sand because sometimes it gets into the cake. So I will use like 3 stones. Sometimes it's the head of the stove you will put and then you bake it. And we started doing a lot of experimentation. We did with water at a point. We just started doing, and then I just figured I kind of liked it. Myself and that my school.
Okay.
So she would tell me, yeah, let's go and buy flour and sugar. We'll buy. She would say, oh yeah, we'll mix butter and sugar. Don't worry. She will mix, we'll do. And we started to both do the whole experimenting. And after a while, I just kind of loved it.
You fell in love with
it. It was fun for me. And I think the reason why it was fun for me was because anything that has to do with cooking it calms me in a way. Anything that has to do with cooking, it calms me a lot.
Wow.
A whole lot. And it just felt like a space I could run to and just be myself. It wasn't like I was trying, it wasn't like I was working, it wasn't like there was anything exceptional about it.
Flexing.
It was just like, like how people would say, oh, I go to lounges to chill. That felt like that for me.
Wow.
Yeah, at that time. So that was how the whole thing started.
So you never attended an academy or something?
I later did.
You later did?
Yeah,
okay.
I later did because I was doing the whole baking thing. I would do some coverings with buttercream and stuff like that. And I remember before my sister got married, she said something to me. I think she was even the one who made me. She was the one who pushed me. So there was this friend of ours. Our sister was getting married, so she asked me to make the. I still posted the cake a couple of days ago. She asked me to make the cake for the bridal shower. While I was making her God, during the process of making that cake, I had malaria.
Oh.
I had malaria. Like I was sick. It was very difficult because I was used to baking and decorating with buttercream. So, but that one had to be a fondant cake. So everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I patched it up. I did everything. I was sick. My sister was like, you shall finish it. Whether you're sick or you're not, you will finish it. You know? And I really didn't like how I felt after doing it. I wasn't really proud of what I put out. Yeah. And the person paid me. So I wasn't. And then my sister made a statement after I was feeling fine. She said, you are okay now, B. If you know you want to make my wedding cake when I get married, you cannot. I'm not going to settle for this mediocre nonsense. So I don't know how you want to do it though, but you have to do something. So I called up a friend whose pictures I had started seeing on socials at the time, and I asked her where she trained. And she was like, I asked her if she could train me, and she said that she wouldn't want to train me because she doesn't think she's well equipped to train me. And every day I call her and I'm like, I'm very grateful for what you did, because other people would just be like, oh, bring a certain amount of money, let me train you. But instead, she sent me the contact of her boss, the person who trained her, and I went to meet him. His store is here in Bodija. And I went to meet him, and then we had a conversation.
Him?
Yes, a guy.
It's interesting when I see some guys in ladies, because let me not say ladies, but predominantly, I think the industry is predominantly female. So sometimes when you see guys in that industry, they are usually like. And
I quite enjoyed training with a man.
Okay.
It was quite, for me, I don't know for any other person, but for me it was quite easier. It was an easy flow for me. I still go to my boss's place most times, and he's like always welcoming. We talk about a lot of them. Sometimes when he goes to do some training somewhere, he'll send me a message and be like, Aisha, what's up? How are you? I'm fine. What are you doing? What are you doing at the way? I'm looking training. Follow me. I'll go together, you know. And I really did. Like I would still go back to it. I think grace was one thing for me, because I wasn't the only one who trained with him. We had a lot of people who trained, and the fact that he recognized that talent quite early, even before I knew I could like be like this, the fact that he could recognize that talent quite early, he would push me above and beyond. Like most times he would come and be like, have you heard of this design that is going on? Yeah. Come on. Is that you come and learn it, or you start trying it, or you do something about it, you know? So yeah, I think I was just destined in a way to do this.
Because I think you are ready too for destiny.
Because
from everything you said now, you add you are passionate.
Yeah.
You just wanted to do something. You're not lazy. You're not idle. That was why you thought of doing something even during your leisure time.
Yeah.
That never turned out to be productive. It was fun for you that time. It was a hobby. But then you were not sitting idly. And that is one thing that makes a whole lot of sense and matters a lot.
Yeah.
I said something some years back. I said it's better to father a child without eyes than to father a child without passion. And it seemed like Ash, or a bit out of way. But then when I put some people together, some people's history, look at someone like Cobhams. Cobhams is literally blind.
Yeah.
But he's passionate about music. We have a lot of people like that, and they are able to do something tangible with their life. Not just something tangible, something enviable with their life. But there are some people that have no passion. They have no, they have no hunger in them for anything. They don't want to do anything, even to do something to have fun. They prefer to sleep or to watch movies. Yes, watching movies is not bad if you know what to do with it. But then it's just so Despite the fact that you want to ascribe everything to destiny, I still want to give you the credit for that. Thank God for your upbringing too. And the environment you grew up in, because that influenced you a lot. Knowing that the business is an option. There are so many people that are passionate about stuff like that, but from their homes, they've always thought that business is not an option. You must be a career person. So they will not even see opportunities that could have resulted in business.
True though, but I just feel like, for me, my thought process is, it sometimes boils down to the nature versus nurture thing. Your society would always influence you. Your family would influence you. Where you're from, a lot of criteria, a lot of things that would influence you. But it boils down to you to choose. I always say this to some people. Anyone who asks me anything in this life, I say, there is no situation in this life you find yourself that you don't have a choice. Now, the type of choice you have may differ, but you have a choice. There's always the choice of doing it or not doing it. You always have that right to choose what you want to do. How you want to do it is also a choice. Where you want to get to is also a choice. So when people say, somebody has a higher leg, or somebody has a better positioning to do something, and I don't. Yeah, someone may have been born with a silver spoon. Someone may have had that, may have been born 2,000 steps ahead of you. But you still have a choice to choose whether to linger in the euphoria of this person would always get it, or you go for it. There is always that choice. It's always there. So when I have friends who are into career, I have a friend, she works with Access Bank. She's one of my biggest clients. She works with Access Bank, and she says that she cannot do business because she knows that the day she will start business, if she said, what happened that we started our conversation was, I think she went for a retreat or something. She bought some bags when she was coming back, about 12 thereabout bags. And when she got home, she bought the bags. A friend of hers that also bought those same bags. And that one sold her own bags to church people. And this, my friend, gave her own bags out for free. She dashed people. And I was like, okay, even if you were not going to sell, you could have given that your friend to sell for you. And you could have sold to her maybe at a certain rate, and then she had her own, and then, because you have eyes for these things, like, and she was like, see, Aisha, I'm just like that. See, if you just come to me and you're like, I like this thing that you're wearing, I will give you. And because she realized that was who she was from scratch, she knew. So she knows now. If you see her when she's preparing, her career is like growing. She does exams, she goes for professional courses, because she knows that is where her niche is. So when you identify what you're good at, just stick to it. That's just it's not everybody that will do business.
Definitely.
It's not everybody. We're not all going to be successful through this business thing. It's not everyone. But I just feel like when you find what is yours.
What is that? No, that just reminded me of one of our motto, or let me say our statements back then in secondary school when we were tired of reading.
Not all everybody.
We just have to console ourselves. Just have to psych ourselves out of
not everybody. At the end of the day, some of us are not even using that way to eat.
But then technically, yes, directly you may think you're not using the way to eat.
Yeah,
but trust me.
Yes.
You could have been fluffy if you did not have your degree.
I would have, but I don't think to this extent.
Yes.
I don't think, I'm not of the school of thought that education is a scam. I'm not of that school of thought. I feel like when academics might be a scam, education is not, because people tend to directly.
Maybe we should say academics in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, abroad, however, it depends.
Because
I think education on its own is quite different.
Yes.
And people assume education just means you go into school, you learning 1, 2, 3, learning some chemical whatever. No. Education is totally much more than that. It's about it's a vast and wide variety of knowledge that has basically almost nothing to do with academics sometimes.
I'm tempted to say many Nigerian graduates are not educated.
A lot.
And sincerely speaking, I'm not even. I stood from a meeting yesterday. We had a meeting yesterday, and presently in my office, we need interns, graduate interns, corpers,
Yeah.
to undertake certain
Roles.
roles in the office. My sister, it's been a tug of war because they are not just fit for the role. And these are people who told you, who will tell you, I studied this, I'm a graduate of this, and they cannot even function in that they claim to have been educated
Yeah,
in.
because a lot, because what I have learned over the time is a lot of people just went to school because, according to them, as long as you go to school, you study a course that is quite related to probably a field you want to get into. They just teach you what they teach you, and then you don't absorb the other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they send you into the world thinking that, the firm that would hire you would train you.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I feel education is about now. That the firm that would hire you will train you. I mean, when you want to start working with a bank, or you want to work in a radio station, they'll train you. It's just, let us just pack them and then we'll push them. Now, the problem is, like I say to a lot of graduates who come through my sports, especially my family, my younger ones, nieces and nephews, and I say to them, when you're in school, grab as much education as you can. Not necessarily just classwork. Grab as much. See, there are a lot of things happening around you that can shape you and mold you. Because you don't know where one thing that you've learned today would be useful for you. You just can't. It's just like that. You don't know. I use myself as an example. When I was in secondary school, I joined the drama club. I was the director for my club. And I remember when I was in SS3, there was this they were doing, I think, cultural something day, and they said we had to shoot a film and we had to do cultural dance and stuff. And my English teacher at the time, he called me and was like, okay, Aisha, you're the director of drama club, we have a film, this is the script. He gave me he gave me a storybook. The title of the storybook was Alafia Ole. He gave me the storybook and was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And my school is an all-girls school. I went to an all-girls school. And I was like, Alafia Ole. Ha. All these characters that I've seen here, all these people are boys, you know. And I got home. He gave it to me while we were going on break, so that when we resumed school, we're going to start work on it. So I got home, and I don't know how it happened. I just knew I dissected the storybook into a script. I have not learned it from anywhere before. I just dissected it into a script. And then I would call him. I would use my mom's phone to call him and be like, sir, how am I supposed to go about this thing? And he would tell me, okay, just make sure that whoever it is you want to give a certain role, you have their script separate. Whoever you want to give you have their script separate. So I wrote about 15 to 20 characters, different papers. And my mom would be like, hey, is this what you're supposed to be doing? Is this what is? And I'll be like, mommy, it's part of school work. There's credits to it, you know, stuff and things like that. She's like, okay, all her books. That woman's paper suffer in my hand. All her books, all her new notes that she will buy and keep in the house for the next time. I will go and carry it and I would write. And then I gave that, when I got to school, I gave it to my teacher, and he read it and was like, you have a niche for this. What are you doing in sciences? I mean, how? I was like, I just felt like I was great at sciences. I was good at it. It came easy to me. And I felt like if something comes easy to you, I mean, there's no big deal if you just go for it. Science to I don't think it's meant for I just love it, so I'm going to do it. And I directed the play. I played Afonja. I directed the play. I played Afonja. We recorded the film. I don't know where the film is at right now. But that was that. We did that and then it ended there. And then I got into uni. And I just became this person who you just could not just come and urge me in any way. It was just, it had, like, till tomorrow when we speak on my platform, on my university platform, people always say things like, when they hear how old are you, and I say my age, I'm like, what? So that means as at the time we were in uni and you were this certain age, we always thought you were this, like, old soul and stuff like that. Things just shape you to become, you don't know when you would need something going forward. Things just finds a way to shape you. And I was involved in school. I was very involved. At a point, I was welfare director for my student union. At a point, for my association union. At a point, I was the go-to person for, if you want to get elected in the sciences, go and meet Aisha. She knows.
Godmother.
She knows how to, carry the crowd and, talk about these things and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe because I was wired different, I put myself in a lot of situations where I learned a lot.
And this goes out to tell parents, because I must mention this here. I love this stuff we're talking about because it's a topic that I'm primarily concerned about. Some years back, I used to crave having the opportunity to talk to Jambites, fresh students. And I thank God after that I've had a series of opportunities to talk to them and to let them know that this place is a university, it's a universe on its own where you can learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself to your classwork.
Class.
Because so many things. I used to be a stand-up comedian, and I picked up that confidence from being the publicity secretary of my fellowship, where I'll be the one to coordinate all services. I'll be the one to say, okay, the next thing is offering, the next thing is this. We're not much in my fellowship, but it was like 7-10. But that's facing the crowd and every other thing that I could say that I really perfected that skill during playing that particular role. There are so many people that will be like, I'm not in school for fellowship. Let me face of course everything has to be done with moderation, but parents too should let their kids be. Social club, your kid want to dance, that does not mean that child will end up a dancer.
Even if the child ends up a dancer, as long as you're diligent and you have integrity. See, I always say this, everything about life is integrity. There is no work you cannot do.
Especially in this social media age.
There is no work you cannot do.
There's absolutely nothing.
It's just your integrity that matters. Are you the kind of person who wants to, there are some people that they just want to get it fast. So they will do whatever it takes to get it fast, and then once they get there, they cannot sustain it. And then there's some people who just, they put in the work. I'm not one person. I've always loved progress. I don't try to how am I going to put it that wouldn't sound a certain way. I don't try to overly push. And a lot of people say things like, oh, Aisha, it's because you are comfortable. It's because I just don't find myself in that spot where I overly push myself. I just know that this year, this is who I am. Next year, I must be better than that person. And I keep moving forward,
bit by bit, step by step. I don't rush it. I don't overly push things. So if you can graduate, I just feel like if integrity in your don't matter. That integrity is like, and I think that is what is lost in a lot of youths growing up today. They don't have. I was having a conversation with Sam, and I was like, he posted something, and I was like, the only reason this is going to happen is because that child does not have anybody that they fear. Not fear in the sense of the negative way, but someone that you just know that if this person looks at me and tells me I'm disappointed in you, there's some people that they'll tell you, who disappoints me, and you will feel it to your core. Like you will be like, don't mess up.
No, what's the mess up?
I don't match line.
I've gone beyond where I'm supposed to go, but now we don't have that. I tell you, when I was in primary school, I had teachers that when they are coming like this, you best behavior, you are quiet. But now even teachers they don't want to.
Have you been to secondary school, primary schools lately? to interact with students. We used to have our Primus Media Club at this particular school. I was shocked. I think shock is an understatement. I was terrified. The day I sat with the principal in his office and a student came in, went behind the principal, wrapped his arms, ran the principal and said, Enyi, Enyi. As in, principal. Alhaji Aro Ajala. No matter, see, we had the baddest of the baddest boys in my own school.
But there's that one person.
But by the time you see that 504, whether you are good or you are bad, there's a way you readjust and rearrange yourself.
You rearrange.
Principal is coming and all of you are seated, whether during break time, whether during class time, and you do not adjust or something. Talk less of now entering his office, now putting your arm, and now some people like that was old school. You have to see there must be boundaries in everything.
Yes.
This generation and this our what's it called now, civilization and westernization of everything, it's not gonna work. It's not going to help us because people believe they are Gen Zs. That's their own.
I think the funny thing is what that does is why you have a lot of fragile human beings. Because when they are used to a certain way, this is my yoga, I can't. This is my principal. Okay, I'm in secondary school. This is my principal. I can walk up to my principal anytime. I can do whatever it is my principal. I can hold my principal on the neck. I can do this. You are a sign of authority. And now they see what they're seeing is they can actually be friends with someone in authority. They can look you in the eye and have conversations with you as an authority. So when they get to firms or when they leave your abode and then they get into the outer world and they meet a boss who does not want that kind of familiarity, you start to hear things like, oh, she's difficult, or he's difficult, or I can't work under this person. My mental health is having issues, and this and this and that. And I sit down sometimes when I hear stories about I think there was a day I was hearing a gist inside a cab. A young girl, she should be 22, 23 thereabout. Probably she went for an interview, and the way she was dressed was, even me that sat in the car looking at her, I was like, okay. In my mind, I just made up in my mind, I was like, maybe this person went to greet a friend, or probably she's coming from a party or stuff like that. And then she was gisting with her other friend, and like, she went for an interview, and then the person that interviewed her was a woman, and the woman said that she wasn't properly dressed for an interview. I mean, and I looked at her from head to toe, and I was like, you are going for an interview
dressed this way,
dressed like this. I mean, if you were going for an interview at a strip club, that would have made more sense. But you're going for an interview in an organization, a corporate organization. I mean, where is this? And they will be talking like with so much confidence in their intuition that is not there. And I didn't want to talk because I know that if you now speak now, they will be like, auntie, that we did not ask questions. And before I will go viral on social media, someone will start using me to catch crews.
I think that's another problem, actually.
I just decided to keep looking at her, and then she was talking the talk, and she was saying, and then the first thing that came to my mind was, you left home. Like your mom, your dad, your elder sister,
brother,
your neighbor, you left home like this, and you actually told them you were going for an interview in a corporate organization, and they looked at you like this, saw you leave the home like this, and they did not tell you to go back inside and go and look for another cloth to wear. Okay, now I know that the problem that we have is much more than just these humans. You there is nothing you can say that just I hear ridiculous things.
But do you know that this generation we are in right now, this time and season we are in now, I wouldn't say, for example, now, back in the days, you don't know those girls in the cab.
Yeah.
But back in those days, in our own days, a total stranger would have put you in your place to tell you that
Yes.
what you have done is wrong.
Yes.
But now everybody is careful. Because
Yes.
for like you said, you don't want to trend for wrong reasons.
For
You don't want
wrong
them to come on
reasons.
X now
It will not,
and say, I
in
was
2
in the car.
minutes. I was in the car. Yeah, it's small. In 2 minutes, they'll just bring out the phone and then they'll start recording. This is the person that said Kiniko. This is the person that said Kiniko.
And before
then
you
your
know
face is
it,
there.
people, that many people like will come on the comment section too, and will come and say, and you, no matter how ridiculous the matter is, somebody will support
yes.
on social media. Some people will support on social media,
Of
and
course.
that is the reason why neighbors are careful now.
Everybody's careful.
I saw another video last week where a mother was recording the father beating the son for misbehaving in school or for failing or something. The father was disciplining the son. The mother was recording and she posted it. Now, so as a father now, next time the father is careful. So everybody is careful. Nobody is trying to correct anybody.
It's a form of insanity that we are not even. So when they say, tell me something that is insane that you've not acknowledged is insane, always bringing out your phone to record everything is a form of insanity. It is just crazy. There is no other word I can use to describe it. I'm not on TikTok, but when I see people post, I see some videos people will post. I see children, like you have the innocence of these children have been. You are messing. Let's even put it right. You are messing with their mental health. They are going to grow up to have serious social issues and social anxiety. A lot of children would have because that is what is happening now. Everybody wants to be Pella. You want to make money. People don't even want to work. You don't want to go to school. She be Pella okay now, but okay now. She be without understanding that one, your fate is not the same. Mm-hmm. Two, because one person did not go to school and person is making money, does not look at the okay. As long as everybody wants to come out now and shout education is scam. The likes of MC Oluomo didn't go to school. The likes of Fasuma did not really go to school like that. Mm-hmm. The likes of K1 did not really go to school. It's showing in their Iwa. No, let's be honest.
Definitely.
It is showing in their behavior. Now, let's leave that. The three of them are rich. They are wealthy. They are well-to-do. Now, when you ask for their children, you hear one person just graduated as an engineer in one university of Kiniko in Alabama. One person is a medical doctor. One person is a PhD student. One person is a Kiniko. That's their children. Now, if education did not mean anything to them, they wouldn't send their kids to school. They will put their kids in that same situation. What is the big deal? If MC Oluomo decides that my firstborn is going to be by my side while I am ruling this Lagos motor park,
let him be in
Agege, be ruling the motor park. But they're not doing that because they know that education breeds a gap between them and the elite. They know. So now they can use their children as point of contact to get to those elites. So when people just come out and say certain things and then act a certain way and be a certain way, I'm like, are you guys even thinking about, do you even have any thought of the future? Are you even thinking that you're going to have a future? But then I sit down and I think it and I'm like, okay, Pablo at a Pablet, no. Everything be Pablo Mira at a Pablo Fina. So it's
just crazy.
It is insane.
See, if you are a sane person, if you are a disciplined person, you will have issues these days because everywhere you look, you will be irritated by a lot of this nonsense happening.
I had a girl who just finished secondary school and they brought me to come and train. And I said to her, okay, you know what? If you're coming for training, you have to come 8 o'clock. You come. If you want to close by 5, fine. You can go home by 5. Sometimes I have to work overnight. I will do my work. I'm not holding anybody. And if you want to stay, we can stay together. It's not a big deal. I laid out all the rules, the regulations, and everything, and I gave her. And then she will get to work at 10. Her mom will call me and be like, hey, Emma Binu, Moni ko sare ba mi for money. Moni ko sare ba mi lora ejani. That's how you want it to be. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to push it. And then it continued like that for a while. So one day I called her mother and I was like, okay, I'm not against your child doing some jobs or chores for you. Now, if she had to work in a corporate environment, in front of a boss and then she's going to get paid, are you going to keep going to her boss every day to explain why she's coming in late? When I was in primary school, my mom sold food. She would wake up at 3 a.m. Our house was upstairs. The shop was opposite that apartment. My mom would wake up at 3 a.m. She would bath. She would clean the house. She would do all of those things. By 4, she has gone to the shop to start preparing for cooking because of those that are going to school in the morning that will buy. By 4:30, I'm up. I've had my bath. I've worn my school uniform. I will now wear overall over the school uniform. I'll go and help my mother downstairs. I mean, in my rice before I go to school. But I knew I had to get to school for 7. So I would wake up by 4:30. Because I know that rice I will ignore before I go to school. So even if you get downstairs by 6:30, you will still ignore that rice. So why not wake up early and then do everything I want to do and then go to school? Sometimes by 6:30, we're at Shetan. Like everything is set up, prepared. The plates that's going to use to do the serving for the day, I've arranged it. I've cleaned the tables in the shop. I've done everything. And mom will be like, okay, Alpha. She'll give me money. I'll go and carry rice. Even though I used to do
It happens like that.
Even though I used to do I will put like 2 meats under the cooler. I will now pour rice on it. I will now put another 1 meat.
So even
though I used to do that, and then go to school, do my classwork, do whatever it is we have to do in school, extra lesson. I get home by 5. Once I get home at 5 o'clock, 5:30 thereabout, I'll wash plates for her. I'll help her clean, prepare for the next day. Whatever it is she wants to go and buy. Maybe she went to Bodija to go and buy market or something. Before she comes back, I will sell food. I will do this, I will do that. So I just thought about it and I was like, if I did not do it, nothing would have happened. She would not force me to do it. But it just came out of, if there is anything you can do to relieve the stress of this woman, just do it. So I said to the woman, I said, if she wants to wash pomo and wash fish, let her wake up early in the morning. Wake up by 4:30 or 5. How old are you? You are young. You are not, your life has not, you are young and you are struggling. Those are the two things that are not supposed to coexist together. You are not in the frame of the Otedolas. They can wake up at any time. They can, chef will cook breakfast. They will pack their lunch. They can just wake up and be like, I don't want, chef can cook food finish and the child will be like, I'll just take her apple. They are privileged to do that. You don't have that privilege. You are struggling and then you are sleeping till 8 o'clock. Then you now wake up at 8. You now go and look for pomo that you want to wash. I was like, okay, if that's how you want to go. If you don't, in a week, if you miss 8 o'clock 3 times in a week, I'm giving you 3 times. If you miss 8 3 times in a week, don't bother coming to my store again. And then her mom will judge her. Yes. Now, I see her whenever I want to go to the market, I see her hawking for her mother. And I'm like, is that the dream? This is what you did. Because one thing I learned from my mom, that woman shaped me a lot. One thing I learned from her was, if my mother suffered to get me to this point, the suffering that I'm suffering now is so that you don't find yourself in the position that I am in. Anything that you get to do has to come easy for you. I don't know people, we no get connection, we no get money, we dey struggle. But if my struggle is 10%, at least I should make your struggle 5%. So that by the time you grow up and you have kids, you make their struggle 2%. They make their children's struggle 0%. And from there, we now have a dynasty of people that don't struggle anymore, that don't even know what struggling is about.
Like
So
your $10 that you refer to
yeah,
the other time.
exactly.
Their own
So
phobias
it's not
have done-
nobody just sleeps and wakes up and then that is it. You become a millionaire. Even you, if you want to play Naira bet, if you have to sit down and pick the games, you have to use your brain to select the games because you cannot just wing it. You can't. That is what life is now. You can't wing it. You have to intentionally want it. You can't wing it because if you wing it, the future that you would create for your children would be scary. And that is why we have a lot of problems now. Because the uncles and the aunties that trained us, we beat us when we small,
They can't.
they will not let you touch their children now.
Come again. The uncles.
And the aunties that beat us when we were growing up, the ones that will slap your head and tell you, oh, rí mi láàárọ̀ yìí ni, oh, tí rí mi láàárọ̀ yìí, oh, kí mi. Mommy, Biola rí mi láàárọ̀ yìí, kò kí mi, mo tún wá dé, ó tún wá rí mi, ó tún wá gbẹ̀gbẹ́ mi kọjá, kó kúnlẹ̀ síbẹ̀ yẹn. Their children, you can't do that to them. And those children will see you pass by your side. You cannot call them to come and bring remote. Do you know how many I had a proper conversation with one of my uncles. I said, do you know how many times you called me from inside a room to come and bring remotes that was in front of you? Now, I'm asking your child to go and bring water. You are saying, Shebomi ni ẹlẹ́gbẹ́. And that's the truth. You are the cause of the issues that are going on right now. Because if you let us train your children
The way you
trained us, no now. No. So whatever it is that's happening now, when they start saying Nigeria ti bàjẹ́, no. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó tẹnu yín jáde. It started from your set. So ẹ má jẹ́ kó tẹnu yín jáde. Your set. Ẹ̀yin ni set tẹ́ bà gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́. If daddy is saying Nigeria ti bàjẹ́, he knows what he's saying. But ẹ̀yin, no. Don't let it come from you. Ẹ má sọ.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Random, and of course our guest, Fluffy CEO, the way I love to call her, Aisha Fluffy, still in the building. And of course, we've been talking about one thing since we have several other things to talk about, several other parts to her that we are yet to talk about at all. Are you an alpha female?
Alpha. That word there, that word is tough in a way. I consider myself an alpha female, and I don't consider myself an alpha female.
You have to explain.
When it comes to, I consider myself an alpha female in situations where I'm a go-getter. When I set my eyes to things, I always love to achieve it to the end. I think I'm a person who just I don't know how to say this. I won't sound like she's bragging. I think I'm too intelligent for my age. I have that feeling that I'm too intelligent, and the reason why I have that feeling is because when I have conversations and discussions with people, they tend to, the first thing they ask is, I hear things like, you're an old soul, or people say things like, how old are you? And then when I say my age, and they're like, really? Wow. So I feel like I can be an alpha female. But there's also a part of it that people tend to describe that probably because you're an alpha female means that you can't be submissive, or you don't take criticism, or because you're an alpha female you don't learn, or because you're an alpha female you're proud,
you're arrogant.
or because you're arrogant and things like that. I don't see myself as that way. And when people tend to put that in front of me, there's something I always say. When I meet a person and then we have a conversation and the person says, you are arrogant, I'm like, okay. And they're like, you're okay with being arrogant? No. I know I'm not arrogant. But
if you think
that is your perception. I cannot defend your perception. It is what you think. It's not what you know. It's what you think. So me arguing it out with you does not make any sense to me, because it's your thoughts. The fact that I get to argue that, I'm not arrogant, it means that somewhere inside of me, I feel like this person is right, but I want to change this person. No, it's your thoughts, it's your thought process, your perspective, and it's fine. When you get to know me,
Maybe.
you would know, probably, you would know that it's not coming from a place of arrogance. It's just who I am. So that's just it for me. So yeah, I can say alpha female. Yeah. But when people start to attach some certain things to it, I don't really, nah.
All right. So an alpha female, a feminist, do you think there is any difference? Do you consider yourself one?
Feminism these days is even crazy. Because I don't even understand what the movement is about anymore. I don't understand what the movement is about anymore. Yeah, I think yesterday afternoon I watched I think a short video. Someone posted it on WhatsApp status. So I watched it. And it's I think it's a show where they throw a question in and then you buzz.
Okay.
And then two people, the fastest buzzers, they go head to head against each other on that topic. And the topic they picked for that day was abortion or something. Whether you consider abortion a sin or whether a man should have a say in abortion, blah, 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 and things like that. And then the girl just comes to the microphone and then she's like, oh, first of all, before we even get into the argument, do you agree or disagree? And the guy said he agrees that abortions happens to be a sin. And then she started shouting, screaming. She made some points, saying things, and then she said some certain things. And then she went ahead and she said something about, it's my body. I get to decide what I do with my body. Okay, I agree. It's your body. You get to decide what to do with your body. And then the guy said something along the lines of, but I was the one who put it there. I was the one who impregnated you, which means I'm supposed to have a decision. Be a stakeholder. I should be able to decide whether we do this or not. And then she said, I'm the one who's going to carry pregnancy. If I don't want to carry pregnancy, blah, 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 blah. And then they went back and forth. And then she said something along the lines of, why didn't you use a condom? And then it sparked something in my head. It was posted on our platform and a lot of people were saying things. Yeah, you should have used the condom. You should have this. And then I responded to that stuff. And I said, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but if you are blaming the guy, saying, why didn't he use protection? Why didn't you use a birth control pill when you knew you didn't want to get pregnant? The decision is both of you met each other. There was no time within the frame of your intercourse or the frame of your conversation. You were not raped. It was first off, we have to agree that it was a consensual act. And then the guy must have told you right there that he wasn't using protection.
She can see.
If he did not tell you, you were not blindfolded. You could have easily said, oh no, I'm not doing this. I'm not interested in having sexual relations with you without protection for various reasons. You did not do that. That's one. Two, okay, let's assume you like the guy so much and he convinced you, oh, the withdrawal method day now, we'll go sort time, anything, no, don't worry. And then you guys went ahead. He tried the withdrawal method. Maybe it worked, maybe it did not work. What happened to you using a morning after pill? So it's like it is a decision. You made that decision to be pregnant. Abortion will, except it is for medical reasons, genetic reasons, hormonal reasons, abortions would always be a sin. Let's not even try to make it, let's not try to pamper it. It would always be a sin. Because I would accept for older generations if they decide that, because there were no condoms then, there were no pills then, there were ignorance. We can say that. But this is a generation where there are lots of things. You can tie your tubes. You can do family planning. You can use birth control pills. There is female condom. 4 options you did not choose. Now you got pregnant and you're saying it's your body. I understand. But if you know that you are going to, and then people started arguing with me, blah, 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 and things like that, it's a conversation. They have to have a conversation about, I was like, no, this is it. A conversation involves two-party talking points and then arriving at a mutual decision. You have decided that you want to have an abortion, which means there is nothing this guy wants to say that will change your mind. You've made that assumption. It is in your mind. So for me, it is a form of mental health issues for you to want the approval for something that you already know you're going to do. It's like, I already know I'm going to bake a cake tomorrow, but I'm looking for approval from someone to tell me to go and bake. I don't understand it. I'm sorry. I just don't understand it. Because for me, I feel like if you know you're going to have the abortion, then don't involve him in it. Go ahead and have the abortion and move on. But you want to have an abortion.
You have already predetermined the conclusion from before the conversation.
Before the conversation already. You already know you're going to have an abortion. But you want him to agree to something that does not sit with him. And you want him to hold your hands. I mean, is he not a human being? Is the person not supposed to have? Let's not assume, because when we talk about that, let's also talk about the other part. You're a woman or a girl who gets pregnant, and then you tell your guy, person who got you pregnant, I'm pregnant, and he tells you, let's go and have an abortion. You will shout, oh, it's because you don't love me. Oh, it's because you hate me. Why we tell you to have an abortion? Oh, God, no, this is not happening. That is his mentality. Abortion to him is not a sin, but it's a sin to you. But when you put that on socials, everyone sees the guy as the bad guy. No one sees you as the bad person. He wants it. So you two should agree to it. Let's put it that way. So until we start to understand that feminism is not about the woman versus the man. It is about inclusion. It is about understanding that a woman has a voice. It is not about whether a woman's voice should be louder than a man's voice. It's about the fact that a woman's voice should be recognized. I should not be told that, oh, you're getting this role because you're a woman. I should not be told that you're getting ahead because you're a woman. It should not be based on gender. It should be based off of what I have to offer. It should be based off of what I bring to the table. It should be based off of who I am as a person, not the gender that I carry. There are lots of jobs that are gender specific. Does not mean it's just like having male nurses, and people say a male nurse cannot be as compassionate as a female nurse. So, and then there's this stereotype and then this bias against them. But he's a nurse. Just
like some people will tell you that a male hairdresser or something is promiscuous. They just have a line drawn for how can you be a male and be
because you feel like that job is gender specific. And I say this, there are rules, there are exceptions. For everything in life, there are rules and there are exceptions. Because something is an exception does not necessarily make it bad. It does not necessarily mean because this thing is an exception, it is bad. Women are supposed to be makeup artists. But doesn't mean that there can't be a guy who just has the flair, who just loves to doll a lady up or just loves to beat people's faces. It doesn't make him anything less. It's skills. He has the skills. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Give him the opportunity to do it. Not because he's a man. Not because she's a woman. But because, okay, specifically we had a test or we have an interview or we have this or we have that. Is this person going to fit into the role regardless of the gender? That is what feminism is to me. But now they've turned the whole thing to a female versus male situation. And it has become so... I hear some ridiculous things sometimes and I'm like, oh, Lord.
I think there's an online version of feminism. I've met some feminists who are not very vocal online, and most times they sound very, very reasonable. But you see the ones that are very vocal, who happens to be like the brand ambassador of feminism online, I think they are the ones doing this disservice to feminism, because an average Nigerian, sincerely speaking, from experience and from conversation with people, I've come to realize that an average Nigerian does not even realize or understand what feminism is.
Exactly.
The definition of feminism we all know is that of the popular one online, and those feminists online, a lot of them, they operate like a coven, like as they usually put them on X. They operate like a coven. It's just like a body that is against anything masculine. They just want to run down the male gender. They are not compassionate. They are those, they are that.
And
they just put themselves out like that.
The side effect of that is the exposure of that is what you're seeing going on in the US now. Masculinity is somehow declining. When we talk about transgenderism and all this other queer and stuff like that, I always make one point to people. Why is it that majority of this transgender thing is men turning to women? You hardly see women transgendering to men because they know being a man is tougher. I don't understand. I hear some people speak about feminism, and I hear some scenarios and I hear some things, and I'm like, can we just be compassionate with each other? Can we just be selfless with each other?
I think those are the keywords.
Compassion. Can we just this thing is not even supposed to be a debate
in the first place.
It's not even supposed to be an issue. I'm working. My husband is working. Who is supposed to be paying? It's not even supposed to be a conversation. It's like how they will say, oh, if a woman is earning more, she should do more. If a woman is earning less, she should do less. Something has to work for you. What is working in your relationship is not what is working in Tamedo's relationship. You can't use that comparison. When this girl came online and said about how she splits the bills with her husband, Kiki,
okay,
she can. And she's married to a man who does not have a problem with it. If you are married to a traditional man, don't try to make him Western or civilized or conventional. You know the person where you marry.
Like you have always been saying, it's a matter of choice.
It's choice.
You have the choice.
It's like when traditional men too that are marrying women that are not traditional, and then you want to change. You okay? You've known this person to be a career lady from time. You met her when she was in her career. You knew that she wanted to do more with her career, but you loved her anyway. Then you now get married and you tell her she has to quit her job. It is not male versus female. It is just stupidity versus insanity. That is the honest truth. It has nothing to do with the gender. It just has everything to do with the human that you are. You can marry someone who is not career driven, who is okay with being at home. There are ladies out there that are okay with doing housewife. They just want to sit at home, raise children, and that's it. They don't have a problem with it. Find them and marry them. But the idea that you want to marry somebody and then you want their dreams to change because of you, it is a form of insanity that I do not understand. And then we come on X and socials and Instagram and the likes, and then we start to talk about how somebody is this and somebody is that. Can we just be compassionate? That's just it. Can we just put yourself in the person's shoes for like half a second and just see it from that person's point of view? See what that person is saying. Feel what that person is feeling, and then you would understand. And then we now have the Agborodun's. The ones that we abolo de fellow Jews. The ones that will blow situations out of proportion. When I go on social and I see people coming, I want to ask for advice Lord, go and see a therapist. Social media is not a place where you will come and ask.
Wrongest place.
Go and see
like that.
Enroll. Look for it. There is nothing wrong with going to see a therapist and talking and sharing your opinions. Therapist, most of them, no, marriage won't do that. It's like saying because a doctor gets sick, You will not go for medical checkup at the doctor's place. That is the definition of what you are telling me. Because a marriage counselor's marriage is not going on well, you are now saying you cannot go to that marriage counselor to seek for help. It's a profession.
Really?
Like, social media is just the wrongest place for you to ask advice for certain things. It's you just should not. Just go through your pain, go through your whatever process it is you want to go through. If you want to speak to someone, speak to someone. If you don't want to speak to someone, it's fine. Just make sure you heal yourself, and then. But because this whole issue of male versus female versus whatever situation that is going on, it just gives me a headache.
Let me ask you a question.
Aches my head.
How many brothers do you have?
Brothers. Okay, I'll put it this way. My mom has 2 children, myself and my sister.
Okay.
My dad, on the other hand, had, I think, 14 of us. I don't know how many brothers I have, but all of them are like way older because my dad was an old man. But all of them are way older than me. I think my immediate elder brother, that's the one that my sister followed. He should be in his, if he's not 60, mid-60s,
Wow.
late 60s, thereabout.
Wow.
But I have cousins who are like my G's that I like relate with, and I have cousins. I have like 4 or 5 that we like relate well.
You know why I asked the question?
Why?
Have you ever been told that you reason
Like
like
a
a
man.
man?
I hear it almost every day, and it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't even.
What do you think is the cause?
I don't know. I think the thing is I have a different view about life. I'm not one person. Like, from a very young age, I've been that person who I would question things. I would question things. Oh, you cannot just come and tell me things like, do this. I will ask you why. I mean, there has to be
that must have earned you a lot of slap.
I don't know,
as a child.
but yeah. The only person I did not have the right to question was my mother. If she says "Lo shekiri," before she finishes that sentence, I'm up and I've got to do it. But any other person, I would question the why. And at first, a lot of people thought it was because I was being stubborn. Most of my family members, if you ask them, Abela, how stubborn go? That's the first thing they tell you. How stubborn go? My stubborn. I'm filial. But I would ask you why questions. I'm very fascinated about why is this happening? Why is it? I remember one of my cousins had an issue with his wife one time, and he called me and he was like, Bella, I'm angry, I'm mad, he was ranting on the phone, and I said, okay, Edmond, you cannot be angry and mad at the same time. You have to choose one, and you have to calm down. You know, he had issues because his wife happens to be someone who is quite she's chilled, she's homely, she doesn't like to go out, and this is my Edmond.
Party rider.
You know, and when he came and he said a lot of things, I was like, okay, see, the first thing I need to ask you is, while you guys were courting, I mean, was she an outdoorsy person? Was she the person that would tell you, oh, yeah, let's go to this party? He was like, no, you know the person you marry now. Why you got to stress yourself? You know how to be quite calm and homely, and that's who she is. So you don't need to stress yourself. And she's not stressing you. Mm-hmm. She's not telling you not to go to. In fact, she will be the one to. Saturday will come. She'll be the one to pack your dress and say, okay, Aisha Odugbesan Fluffy. You know. I mean, so what exactly is the stress that you have that is stressing you? Because the woman does not have stress. So it's you that you are stressing yourself. You know. So I would always like. I question things a lot. People will say I have trust issues. I don't mind. I will question it. There has to be a reason why you're doing something. You cannot just tell me, oh, I don't have a reason. I will look for a reason for myself. Before you can send me to go and do something, I will look for a reason why I should go and do it for you. Okay. So it has now become more of like it's a go-to for me. So before you give me an excuse, I already have one in my head for you. You know, if I ask you, if you tell me, Bella, please, I need you to do something for me, and I'm like, okay, I already make up in my mind, in my head, like, maybe this person doesn't have the time, maybe this person is going through something, maybe this person, and for you to call me out of the blue to tell me to do this for you, maybe this person. So there has to be a reason to anything that you want to do for, you want to ask me to do for you.
That's why I said,
I think that's why.
No, women most times, apologies to the women folk, the reasoning part, women are mostly moved by emotions, not reasons.
Yeah.
As I said, that was why I asked that. From your responses so far, it's obvious that you reason so many things.
A lot. I'm an overthinker anyways. I think that's the one problem that I have. So everything always has to have meaning to me. Just there has to be a reason. There just has to be a reason. Even in situations where you do something that is quite, I don't want to say wrong, I would look for a reason for you for why you are doing it, and I'll just agree, okay, that's why. I'm not going to stress it.
Most times
That's
those conclusions might not be right.
They might not. Okay, for instance, I think yesterday or the first day I was somewhere, and when I got to the place, the people I met, they were like, oh, you look like someone, oh, you look like this person works here, blah, 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 blah. And eventually the person came, and they were like, I think when they went to meet the person downstairs, they were telling the person, oh, there's somebody upstairs that really looks like you, blah, 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 blah. And then the person came, and then the person was like, oh, is this the person you're saying I look like? And everyone was like, oh, yeah, can you come? And then she uttered a statement, and she said, am I this big? And in my head, I had the answer for her. I really did, because I wanted to really actually say, am I this short? But I just felt, you need to see a therapist, because something is wrong with you. If the first thing you can notice is a person's size, then there's something actually wrong with you. If you cannot see a person they say you look like, and you're like, oh wow, I look like this person, that is ridiculous. For whatever reasons, if you want to compare probably the person's height or the person's weight or the person's facial expression, like, you can keep it to yourself. You have the option to keep it to yourself. Wisdom. But I just felt like, okay, I'm here to see someone who works here. If I respond, it's not going to be about me anymore. It's going to be about the person I came to see. Because there will now be a notion that this person has friends that are irresponsible, and then the irresponsible acts that I did would rub off on him, and then that's how they start to form a certain. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to it. And this that I explained happened in my head within 30 seconds.
Definitely.
It happened. So I just went through that phase, and I went through, okay, you don't have to see anything. And then that was it. And then I smiled through everything she said. I smiled, and the person was like,
tomorrow.
So I feel like
that is why I said that's another scenario that paints you. Is what a man would do. Not many ladies will have that pause, because you give it to me
straight.
Normal usual ladies, you give it to me. I always like to think things through before I react. It doesn't take time. It's just short. Yeah.
But sometimes if I want to go crazy, I will go. And sometimes I'll just be like, the funny thing is, if it was on a platonic meeting, like I met the person somewhere, not attached to anybody, I would have done the whole thing together. But I just felt like I have to put this person in consideration. Yeah. This is your workplace. I can't just
very thoughtful
treat you like. And if I not go and do any, and the person is the boss, you are in trouble. I've already bought trouble for you, and you know how female bosses can be sometimes. So I just didn't want that person to find himself in a. So I was just like, you know what, I'll take it. I can handle it. So let's go.
Allow her to cook. Allow her to cook.
Let her cook.
Okay, finally. Your love for football.
Oh, my passion. My second baby.
No, I don't understand you.
That's my second baby.
Yeah, that's why I said a lot of things about you. If you write your profile, let's remove Aisha
Without
from your
putting
name.
picture.
Without Aisha and without picture,
yeah.
and you just write
A football lover,
football lover. This the way they will normally profile you. Not many people will guess you are a lady.
Yeah.
So tell me about your love for football. How did you come by that?
Ooh, football happened. I think I was quite young when I became fascinated with football. I was young. Let me say my age. I was young. And I think I'm not sure. I can't remember vividly. And they were still doing the golden goal rule and stuff like that. So I remember. I think the game ended 3-3 in regular time, and then they went into the extra time, and I think whoever scored first won the game or something. It was something around that. So when the game started, they told all of us to go out, the small ones, because we're disturbing the house and everything. They said all of us should go outside. They were watching football and play outside and watching football and everything. And there were a lot of people. My neighbors, now they're my family friend and we're very close. We were there. My mom, I don't think my mom was around. I think my mom went out. Probably she went to market or something, so she dropped us there. Younger children were there too, so she was like, and we were there. They were watching the match. So they were the ones that had colored TV at that time. Every other person was either black and white, but they had colored TV. So everyone came to watch on their TV. So the room was packed, and there was this one ceiling fan. If you're not careful, it will chop off your head if you're not careful. So they were watching the game. Everyone was screaming, "Go!" It was. I don't know how I can't remember how the goal thing happened.
Yeah, I think 3-1.
So I think it went like that. So everyone was hyped up. So I stopped playing with the kids. So I went to the back of the chair. I laid down and I was watching the match from the back of the chair. I really didn't understand what I was watching, but I was fascinated by. At a point,
the energy in the room.
I wasn't watching the screen anymore. I was watching everybody, and I was seeing different expressions from anger to rage to excitement to joy to anxiety. At the time I didn't know what all those things were, but I was seeing a lot of different emotions. Some people were caught up in one position, some were shaking their head and holding their it was, and I was just like, I haven't seen anything really at that point that brings like a whole lot of people together
and could evoke such emotion from all of them.
Exactly. They could all have different emotions at different periods. Sometimes the emotions would match, sometimes the emotions would be different. And I had never seen anything. And at that time, I think we still used to watch wrestling sometimes, late night wrestling and stuff. But people were not really into the wrestling thing, except if you really loved it. But football was different. Even people that I knew, that some certain people that that this person and this person, they don't talk. They are not necessarily friends. They are cool though, but they are not necessarily friends. And then you see them having conversations. And I'm like, how can a particular sport, just bring? So that was where the fascination started from. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Kanu that scored that goal. Kanu scored that fourth goal. And there was this uncle that the excitement, he just jumped up, put her inside fire, I was like, oh God, no, this is not happening. He almost took off his thumb.
Wow.
Yeah, the cut was that deep. He almost took off his thumb. And even after the whole thing, he still held it and was still saying, Nigeria. I was like, Kilo day. He's not supposed to be this much, and from there I started to like football, and my mom figured it out that I liked to watch, so she would kind of like encourage, she would buy me sports magazines.
Your mom?
Yeah, she would, because my mom loved, if not because of also the woman liked football, no be small.
Wow.
So I felt like partly that, and partly that because my mom too also liked it, so she didn't really see any big deal in it. Anytime she got a magazine or bought any magazine and she saw any player, she would tear that page, bring it so much. We'll ask somebody to, and then when she started her shop at a word, all these boys where they always sell poster and everything, she would buy for me and stuff like that. So yeah, from with time I started to like it. I started to get involved in it, but I really became like a fan when I went for my post UTME at OSU, Olabisi Obasanjo University, and that night was Barcelona. I think it was, I can't remember the team vividly, but I knew Barcelona was playing that day. I went to watch it in one small shed like that, and it was another totally different ball game. People were giving stats, people were making comparisons, people were saying things. I'm like, she football not like people and people were fighting each other, people were abusing each other, there were bans, there were stuff. I was like, this is beautiful to watch, it's beautiful to see. I was with some of my brothers. We went to watch together, so they were there to protect me. I was like, I think I was the only girl, or myself and one other person, I'm not sure, but they were there to try to protect me, and they're like, Aisha, do go anything, move straight, joko, and and from there I also kind of like learned a lot being in that space. I learned how to be alert. And I know a lot of people would say, you find yourself in that kind of situation, and why? I learned a lot from being in that setting, going out to watch football. I learned a lot. Right now, one of the things I learned was I can discern if a fight is going to happen. Mm. And if the fight is going to be deadly, I can know before it starts. And I can excuse myself.
Before it starts, and I can excuse myself. Mr. Kenny, come on, let me go. I notice. Okay. So I'm going to go to the shilo. Okay. Crash lekun kojo. Okay. If you're not expecting you come, so more expect to go where I go. All right. I can know, and I
can excuse myself from that situation fast. Before it happens. I would have been home before they say,
So you enjoy watching football at the viewing center?
That's the best place. Now everywhere is just fragile. Everybody, soft arts. And when you're then you had people had that, they could handle it. They could handle the bands, Some people are just there to hate watch a particular, their team is not playing, but they're there to hate watch another team. And they're there to just it was fun to watch it.
I remember,
it was a beauty to watch.
Some years back, we used to have a viewing center behind my house. And the person that runs the viewing center is like a senior bros. What I meant, Leure. So sometimes we used to be the ones to coordinate things for him and everything. And I could remember all those bands. It's not for the
you cannot be weak. If you are weak, just watch at home.
There's one bros that time we used to call him My Prayer. He was a Chelsea fan. My Prayer would just enter and say, go your Arsenal, and then maybe they were already defeating Arsenal and they were already feeling a certain way. So somebody would just capitalize on could make sense now. But not the funniest thing, it would just be quiet. Once they are calm again, we drop another one.
Exactly.
They will be
that was the fun of it.
They will want to fight him, we will not say anything. Then they will be waiting for him. The day Chelsea is playing, oh God, if they should mistakenly beat Chelsea, they will almost go and it's a very senior bro. So, but one thing is that it does not pick offense. A 2-year-old child can go and drag his clothes when they are defeating Chelsea, and everybody will just smile.
Yeah, if you grew up in that kind of setting, you would understand the spirit of sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. You would know that winning is not every day, and some people are just there to catch cruise and have fun. So sometimes when someone is doing something to me or around me, I will just ask you. And then I'm not reacting. And people will be like, Fluffy, you didn't got to catch cruise. You didn't catch cruise. I'll be like, catch cruise. àwa ti wà láwọn ibì kan tó yẹ kí àti gbọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan.
When they tease you want to you just feel like man, this is the worst that could happen.
Like a lot of times people will just. I remember the game I remember vividly was that Barcelona Inter game. Where Inter beat Barcelona. They drew 1-1, I think, at Camp. They drew 0-0 at Camp Nou. Then they went to San Siro, and then I think they won 1-0. That was when Mourinho did the parking the bus thing. And I remember that game. And a lot of people came to hate watch Barcelona that year. A lot of people came to hate watch. They just came to hate watch the game. And then Barcelona lost that game, and then the band started. Even Messi da, ohun da, worry. Well, it was, but it's just a beauty to watch. Nowadays, it's gone beyond, especially when it got to a part where they started breaking bottles, started injuring themselves just because.
And I think that still kind of connects or link back to what we said earlier. That this generation, they are too fragile. They are too fragile. They cannot take jokes. They cannot take everything is. No, these days when people are saying, what's it called now? Body shamed. He body shamed me. He shaking me and they are making a big case out of it. Saying, back then when we were growing up, once you have a misunderstanding with somebody,
is your size, is either your size, your look,
something. That's what they.
When I was in primary school, this mark here, I had an injury. I hit my head on a sink, so I had an injury. So for a very long time, I had to wear plaster on it. So the plaster was like this. When I got to school, they started calling me minus. They started calling me minus. I mean, but it did not affect me in any way, because I was like, okay, yeah, if you call me minus, I'll call you plus. If you call me minus, I'll call you multiplication, but nowadays, when people say certain things,
you just hear that the person was trying to commit suicide.
Someone is suing somebody.
Somebody wants to commit. The child they are calling something wants to commit suicide. Why? Because they were teasing him.
I read a news about one OAU student who committed suicide because she had carryover twice. And I'm like, when I was in school, we did talk as a carryover. Students lost share phone. Students lost share carryover phone. Why would you not want to have carryover and now say you want to take your life? You will write it again.
Some of these conversations seem like to some people they are like these people are not sensitive. They are insensitive to the plight of people. But what we are saying is, in those days, we had these things.
Yes.
But our reaction to it was different. We didn't see suicide. We didn't see.
It was not an option. It was not on the table. Like, there was no option of, oh, you can commit suicide. Oh, you can kill. Yeah, a couple of people did. Mm-hmm. A couple of people did. Some people did because, like, I was like, I remember those days when I hear people commit suicide. The story behind it is always probably someone who went to import goods, and then
all these properties,
custom, and then person has borrowed like 100 million there, 200 million there.
There was a fire disaster,
property or ship capsized.
The only time I heard of somebody committing suicide due to teasing and joke was person was impotent, and they made it a case and they teased him and everything, and he could not bear the shame and went to commit suicide. Yeah. I'm not saying that is justifiable,
but that was deep enough for you to say, okay,
you say that was deep.
You hit that person in a spot where it could not be changed. Mm-hmm. If he had the opportunity that we have now, if someone could have told him then that, oh, you can find a sperm donor, you can go and do this, you can go and do, those opportunities were not there now. Mm-hmm. We have those opportunities now. So when I hear people say they commit suicide on things that have solutions, I'm always like, I don't understand it. If there is you can come if it's something that does not have solution. Mm-hmm. Even now, say whether they collect good for custom, they will sit there and say, "Oga, I'm yes, we are still alive. We will pay the money. It's you that will calm down for us, but we will pay the money. You will just be
there
don't
are
worry.
Ways around this thing, but our mental health is just too fragile.
Too fragile.
Too fragile
the children nowadays are
You will hear kids in secondary school, primary school that was beaten by a teacher, that was something teased by his colleagues, and then he has gone to commit suicide. Those things were stuff we heard from we saw on foreign movies, or we hear that happened abroad. Not here, but now it is here. People too are committing suicide.
It's now at the very. So I say to people, especially my friends that are now having children, I say to them, learn to say no to your kids. That's the first step. Learn to let them know that sometimes you would have it, sometimes you would not have it, and you will not because it's not there. It's there. When I was growing up, what my mom did was provisions. She will buy and she will put it on the table. She will not lock it. She will put it on the table. But you have not bought your way to go there. You will not go there. When you want to eat and you tell mommy, can I have cornflakes today or can I have cream corn? No. Accept the no and go. If you don't accept the no, you will jaya and it is still going to be a no. So just accept the no and go. Now it does not mean that you are. I feel what they've turned it into is, if you say no to your child or if you discipline your child in a way, it means that you are giving them some childhood trauma. They've traumatized them. Everything is now trauma.
Everything is now trauma, and these things, like we said earlier,
I would prefer to give that child that trauma. When he grows up, I will be paying for therapy. He will go and do the therapy. Let him understand that the ways of life are different.
Yes,
it can be tough, and you have to be tough to handle it.
I saw something online recently about a child. A woman said it is wrong if you cook a certain kind of food and your child said is not eating, say it's your duty as a parent to cook whatever the child wants, and it started the conversation like, mama go talk say na wetin mama get if they give a pikin nti abani lo form where. So
the first thing is first off assuming that parent has the means to buy something else to cook. That's the and what I say this, people say things like, Aisha, what are you saying? You are speaking to people out of your own reality. You can afford to have 3 bags of rice at home, 1,000 cartons of Indomie, 400 tubers of yam, palm oil, whatever it is. You can afford to have it, so that if you cook rice, 1 cup of rice now, and your child says, "Mommy, I don't want to eat rice," you have gas, you have pot, you can pour Indomie on the fire and cook, and the child will eat and sit down and eat with egg and watch TV and do whatever. Yeah, you're privileged. You're speaking from your own privilege. A mother who knows that 1 Congo of rice is the thing that will serve us from now till next week. That gari, lẹ́yìn tí rice yẹn bá tán, is it that same mom you are telling to not cook rice, to cook rice first and now go and cook eba for the child? No, you are speaking from your privilege. So you don't, like I would say to my friends, you don't train your child based off of the things other people are doing. You train your child based off of the things that you have. They have to understand that it is what you have that you are training them with. Fine, it's okay to learn how to, read books on how to deal with a child who throws tantrums. You can read books on how they sorted it, but it is not your reality. A person that comes to you and says, "My child threw a tantrum in the market and I seized her tablet." Your son does not have a tablet for you to seize now. The child they are training does not have pocket money that you want to collect from him. So you have to train your child within the means of what you have. That was how we grew up. Train within the means of what you have. My nephews right now, my sister's children, when we go out, they are well behaved. You can't throw unnecessary tantrum anyhow. You will go outside the house and you'll be running around. Who born you? Who is the father that gave birth to you? You can't throw tantrums anyhow. You have to. You will sit down and you will be quiet. You will maintain and manage yourself until the visitor that invited you cannot give you go ahead to run around. Then you run around. But until then, you sit, you are calm. But no, you see some kids, they bring them and they will jump on their mother. They will hold their father's neck, cut their father's chain. Live, like, what are you living? Ọmọdé pé first date wàá kọ́ throw tantrum ẹ̀ bá ti fún lábàdà bíi mẹ́ta. Reset the brain.
See, we so many things wrong with us these days.
It's just
a whole lot, and these things is like it has a ripple effect. They are interconnected. Everything
crazy.
is interconnected, but our people will deny one and they want to claim one. You cannot claim, you cannot appropriate and reprobate at the same time. That's just it. Life is give and take. Whatever you put inside life is what it will give back. So if you train your child a certain way, you will get the reaction, you will get this thing back. All this talk of trauma, see, let's leave it for another day. Because trauma, it's okay.
I will pay for therapists when he grows up. We go and be doing therapy. Once I see that you need therapy,
how we no get anything.
Once I see that you need therapy, I will fund the bills. You will be going to therapy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been random with Aisha, and of course we've had a wonderful time talking about so many things that we believe. A lot of us will have our own opinion, but then this is our own reality, and that is why it is called random, because we want to zoom into the personality of our guest. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Don't forget to do what? To subscribe to our channel and to tell somebody and to share. After that, Samuel is the channel on YouTube. Thank you once again, Fluffy CEO. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Sincerely appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Till next time, we are back. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Bye.